So, I watch a lot of commentary YouTubers, and they all talk about, your standard YouTube drama. And one of the things that I don't understand, like, I'm not trying to bash them, I just genuinely don't understand it, is like watching prank channels. I mean, maybe it's just because I don't like pranks, but I don't really understand the fun in watching someone else do a prank. Um, but I guess by that same vein, it would be like me saying I don't understand why people watch other people play video games, but I can't afford video games, so that's why I do it. At least I can't afford the video games that I want yet. Living that poor life. So this book is called The Paper Magician, and I also don't know what I was expecting from this book, but it was a really cute book. There's a part at the end that, man, oh man, that scene. Okay. Anyway, so I don't really know how to pronounce the main girl's name. I think it's Sione, Ceony. I'm gonna pronounce it Sione. Um, she so in this world, there's more than just like your standard elements. Like you can be a smelter who works with like metal magic and like they make jewelry and things like that. And you can be like a plastic magician. There's a book called The Plastic Magician where like you can manipulate metal. But there are also your standard elements like water, earth, and stuff like that. No, I think people want to do those ones, but like the one at the lowest is the paper magician. There are only two paper magicians, I think they said, and no one wants to be a paper magician. Sione doesn't want to be a paper magician, but she gets told she's going to be a paper magician. Most people get to pick. She did not get to pick. So she's going to be, it's called a folder because paper. And she's been assigned to Magician Thane, and Sione's not happy about that. So they go to his house, and from the outside, it looks all sad and depressing. But once they get closer, it like comes to life, and like paper things start happening, and the paper, like there are paper flowers and paper chains, and you can make a lot of really pretty stuff with paper. That's why origami is a thing. Um, so Magician Thane comes and he's like, yeah, you don't want to be a paper magician, but you're gonna actually like being a paper magician. So why don't you just listen to me? Also, stay off the fourth floor of the house. So, um, paper for days, just everywhere. It like except for maybe like uh the bed and like the food, paper everywhere. And she looks around and finds out that Magician Thane is the one who gave her uh, scholarship to the school that she went to because her family is poor and they were like at a bakery and she wasn't going to be able to go. And she had another scholarship, but she accidentally insulted that guy, so he withdrew his scholarship. But then Magician Thane did her scholarship for her, and she starts doing paper magic, and it's going pretty well. Magician Thane has secrets, obviously, because he's the teacher in this situation and you are the child, so why are we doing this? And uh MG Thane, the abbreviation for magician in this is MG, like a doctor would be DR, so it's MG Thane. He is distracted, and Sione decides to cook for him, and she's a really good cook, and to show how grateful she is because she's been kind of a brat this whole time. Um, there's stuff going on in the background, but we are mostly with Sione's lessons for now. And then this chick named Lyra shows up. Lyra is in love with MG Thane and literally steals his heart. Blood magic is also a thing, Avatar style, but no, it's illegal. It's highly, highly illegal, and I'm sure that Katara would have outlawed it if she could have. Highly illegal. And she does that, and then they're trying to figure out it's also called flesh magic. They're trying to figure out what to do, and Sione's like listening to the adults argue, and she makes MG Thane a paper heart so that he'll be okay, but it's kind of like when you're folding the paper, if your folds aren't precise, then it's not going to work very well, but it's enough to hold them over for now because we got a few more chapters to go. So she goes to the fourth floor and finds a paper hang glider that MG Thane made himself, so it's pretty good, and she uses it. Also, MG Thane made her a dog. He is adorable, and he's made of paper, so you don't have to feed him. It's adorable. And he also folds up and he can like go in her pocket. It's so cute. And so they go to not they. Well, she takes the dog with her. They go to find Lyra and because bureaucracy and no one's got any time for that and MG Thing's gonna die and Sione doesn't want that. So she goes and finds Lyra and it was a trap and now she's literally inside MG Thane's heart and she's trapezing through his heart essentially. And she goes like each like there are four chambers to your heart, right? And each chamber is like a different part of MG Thane because emotions. And most of the book is spent inside his heart. And you see like his memories and his hopes and then like the bad times and then like his dark side. And they were married, Lyra and MG Thane. And it was fine for a while, but then Lyra got into flesh magic, and MG Thane was like, "You literally can't do that." And she was like, "I'm gonna do whatever the fuck I want, and I need you to help me." And for a while, she was like, she would show up at his house, and he'd hide her, and like he is still in love with her, and Lyra is like just bitter that he's choosing to do the right thing over being with her, and yeah. Uh, so the last chamber of his heart, it's like memories and like hopes, and then like darkness and bad times, and then doubts, and he is like he has like all these doubts about himself and like Lyra and like not being able to stop her and all that. And Sione's like, it's not your fault. She also says that she loves him. I'll come back to that in a second. And she whatever. Um Paper can also be used for offense. Most people don't like paper because it can't be used for offense, but apparently it can. And Doubt MG Thane teaches Sione how to use it for that purpose, and she turns Lyra into a fucking statue. At least I think that's what happened. I hope that's what happened. It's pretty intense. So, um, they go. She takes the heart and she goes back. Paper magic isn't so useless after all. And apparently, mixed gender apprenticeship is uncommon. I can understand why. Uh, Sione is tending to Thane while he sleeps. Lyra escaped paper illusions and all. It only goes so far if you're not trying to like kill somebody. The paper statue was just an illusion, and it only stayed while Sione was there. Sione doesn't feel any better, but she wants to do paper now, and then she also wants to do MG Thane. Um, whatever. So the first point that I want to talk about, I like the abbreviation MG. I just thought it was cool. I never thought about it like that, but it's pretty cool. And I'm happy that MG thing like I also thought about it and like with the Dragons Champion, no one is telling them anything. And the reason that it annoys me in that book is because Eric is essential to the plot. Like he's the one who's going to do the thing, so why wouldn't you tell him about the thing? But in this book, Sione's just some student. So no one tells her anything, understandably, because she's just some student. Everything that Sione learns, she learns from eavesdropping. Because she's just some person. That's why the bureaucracy was like, well, we're gonna go after Lyra. We're gonna have to send Sione to the other paper magician, and MG Thane's gonna die, and it's gonna be really sad. But Sione's like, nah, fuck that, and she goes and she saves him. Um, Also, what I thought about was interesting is about how in I don't know if I've read anything yet that I would qualify as well, no, I guess Eternal. There's a sense of wonder kind of in that book a little bit because like we're learning it through Kat's eyes and she doesn't know what's happening. So for her, it is also a sense of wonder. And in this book, even though it's cool and like pretty at the beginning, there's no sense of wonder because Sione is angry and we're seeing the world through her like perspective, which I never really thought about you could do. But that's pretty cool. The wonder comes later when Thane starts showing her magic. Also, Thane is his last name. I do not remember what his first name is. Um Sione does have a valid complaint. Like, she normally people get to choose what they want to do, and she wanted to be a smelter because she wanted to make jewelry and she wanted to be, in her words, useful. And there's a spider web over there. And like, to her, paper isn't very useful. There are only 12 registered magicians for paper, so in her head, paper's not useful. So why would we do that? Turns out MG Thane was the exact same way. They don't say what he wanted to do, but he thought paper was also useless, so he didn't want to do it. Like, he bullied someone for being a paper magician, and then he ended up being a paper magician. Um, Thane has a dark side, but he isn't bitter, which is cool. I like the heart part because we're like learning more about Thane because up until this point we know zero about him. Um, he has secrets, which is cool. He's still sarcastic and slightly mad, like in the crazy way, but it's all the best people are. We learn his achievements, school, helping someone with a birth, his wedding, his hopes, a family, having a religion to believe in due to everything else we find out about his past. He thinks that having something to believe in would make life easier. We learn his regrets, his divorce with Lyra, protecting her from capture, not stopping her from killing tons and tons of people. And we learn his doubts, not catching all of the flesh magicians. It's organic because we're, as I said, trampezing through his heart. He knows that she was in there as well. He doesn't remember what she said to him about being in love with him. We're getting there. But he said that, and I quote, "It's my heart, so I would know if someone were going through it." And then the last bit about Sione falling in love with Thane is so far out of left field. Maybe I wasn't paying attention, but as I was reading the parts where she was going through his heart, it just felt like she was like appreciating everything that he had like gone through and like being happy for him and being sad for him. But no, she's actually like in love with him. She says that to him, and she's also happy that he does not remember her saying that to him. And it makes me really angry because like I wrote down their ages. She is 19 and he's 30. And like, I know that like for most people once you reach 18, it's whatever because everyone's a consenting adult. But my guy, like, she just got out into the world and doesn't really know anything. She's also never had a boyfriend before because she definitely would have mentioned it. I man, I really hope that doesn't go anywhere. I really don't want it to go anywhere. Another magician says that mixed gender apprenticeships are uncommon. So why do they let it happen? Are any of the 12 paper magicians, are none of them paper magicians? Are none of them females? Of all 12 of the paper magicians, are none of them girls? Like, man, cuz had MG Thane been a woman, the story would be no different, except if Sione is straight, is what I'd still be angry if she fell in love with Thane and Thane was a woman. Like, oh my god, it's so dumb. Anyway, in terms of where this book goes, I like this book. So it goes between Eternal and Dragon's Champion. And wait, hang on. There's a book in between there, isn't there? It goes between Dragon's Champion and After the Devil Has Won. And Eternal goes underneath After the Devil Has Won. Okay. Yeah. It's also just weird because when he was 18, she wasn't even born yet. It's so weird.